let me ask you something. Why would Benjamin Šeško, a guy who's supposed to be smarter, sharper, and more clinical than Højlund, turn down Champions League football, bigger wages, and the spotlight just to join a club that was fighting relegation last season? And here's the crazy part. Both Manchester United and Newcastle were ready to throw 80 million euros at him. At a striker from a so-called Farmers League? 21 goals in 45 games? Decent, but not world-beating. So what's the catch? Well, maybe there's something you haven't seen yet, because the truth about Benjamin Šeško is way scarier than anyone's talking about. To figure out if Šeško is not just Højlund in disguise, we gotta rewind, like way back. May 31st, 2003. Radice, Slovenia. Small town, big kid. That's where Benjamin Šeško was born. And from the jump you could tell the kid was different. He was taller, quicker, and just looked like a problem for defenders. He kicked things off at his local club before moving to NK Sesko, and that's where people started whispering, this kid might be special. Then came NK Domžale, Slovenia's top spot for developing young ballers. And Šeško, he didn't just improve. He took off, started banging in goals for fun, and soon enough the scouts came circling. Not just local clubs, Europe-wide interest. The kind of buzz you don't get unless you're doing something serious. And in 2019, Šeško takes a leap. Signs with Red Bull Salzburg. Now, you already know that club doesn't miss. That's where Haaland got his wings, where Adeyemi leveled up. It's like the Harvard of Wonder Kids. But here's the wild part. This move didn't come from out of nowhere. A few years earlier, still back in Slovenia, Šeško posted a video that made scouts stop in their tracks. He wasn't scoring a screamer or pulling off some fancy skills. He was sprinting toward a basketball hoop, leaping into the air and kicking the ball off a 10-foot rim. No trampoline, no tricks, just pure athletic madness. In slow motion, you can literally see him flying toward the blackboard like it's an action movie. Red Bull Salzburg saw it, and they didn't just see a clip. They saw a freak of nature. A raw, powerful athlete who could be shaped into something terrifying. So they tracked him, studied him, and when he turned 16, they made the move. That's how this journey really began. But they didn't throw him straight into the deep end. He started with their feeder club, FC Liefering, in Austria's second tier. And listen to this. 21 goals in 21 games. That says, get this kid in the first team ASAP levels of madness. Fast forward to 2021, promotion to Salzburg's first team. He's now rubbing shoulders with talents like Brendan Aronson and Noah Okafor. But Šeško wasn't just there to make up the numbers. He became the guy. Quick, powerful, composed in front of goal. Could shoot with both feet, link up play, stretch defenses. He was becoming a nightmare for defenders. And in the 2022-23 season, man was cooking. 16 goals across all competitions, Champions League included. The spotlight hit, the big clubs started sniffing around. And you know what happens when that starts? You guessed it, RB Leipzig came knocking in the summer of 2023, and let's be real, that move made sense. Same Red Bull system, same high-press chaos, just in a tougher league. This is where Werner became a star. This is where Nkunku made a name. Now it was Šeško's turn, and he didn't miss a beat. First season in the Bundesliga, man scoring against Bayern, Dortmund, the whole crew. He adapted like he'd been playing there for years. Whether it was holding up the ball, making those deadly runs behind, or pulling goals out of nowhere, the guy was doing it all, like a striker from a cheat code. Now, here's where things get scary. As of right now, Benjamin has 39 goals in 87 appearances for Leipzig. That's not just good, that's why aren't more people talking about this guy kinda good? And get this, he's currently the top scorer in Europe under the age of 23. Ahead of Jude Bellingham, ahead of Florian Wirtz, who Liverpool just dropped £100 million on. Let that sink in. So yeah, while everyone was busy talking about big-name transfers, Šeško's out here quietly turning into a monster. Now let's talk about why defenders hate playing against Benjamin Šeško. The dude is a cheat code. He's got the frame of a classic number 9, but he doesn't play like one. He plays like a modern striker with old-school power. He's 1.95 meters tall, which gives him the same physical presence you see in Haaland. And yeah, the comparisons aren't lazy. Both came through Salzburg, both are physical freaks, and both have that freakish blend of size and speed that makes defenders look like cones. But Šeško brings something even more interesting. Mobility. The man moves like a winger. He's quick across the ground, agile, and makes smart diagonal runs that stretch defensive lines. Clocked at 35.7 kilometers per hour, he was one of the fastest strikers in the Bundesliga last season. That's absurd for someone his size. and then you throw in his aerial game, forget it. He had the best aerial success rate among all Bundesliga strikers who contested at least 60 duels. That's not just good in the air, that's elite. But he's not just a physical monster. The guy thinks the game. He presses aggressively, links up play like a proper team-first striker, and knows when to drop deep to pull defenders out. He's not waiting in the box hoping the ball finds him. He's involved, he's creative, and he's constantly opening up space for others. What makes him scary is how complete his attacking toolbox already is. He's not a one-trick pony. He can hold up play, win aerial duels, burst in behind, and strike the ball clean from all kinds of angles. Whether it's a powerful long-range shot, a composed one-on-one, or a sneaky header from a set piece, Šeško has the ability to finish in multiple ways. And he does all of this without looking flashy. That's why people sleep on him. While the football world was laughing at the so-called Farmers League, Šeško was out there becoming one of the most well-rounded number 9s in all of Europe. So when the Šeško to United rumors started flying, the hot take was predictable. Here we go again. Another Højlund experiment. But that comparison completely missed the mark. When Højlund arrived, he was 20, raw, and thrown into absolute chaos. No structure, no chemistry, no consistent service. United's attack was dysfunctional. Garnacho was still learning the ropes. Antony couldn't find rhythm. Rashford looked lost, and Bruno was covering 5 positions at once. There was no platform for a young striker to thrive. Fast forward to now, and it's a very different picture. United's front line is finally starting to look like a system. Kuna and Mbeumo have added pace and intelligence out wide. Ahmad's playing with confidence. Bruno, freed up, is back to dictating tempo. This isn't a broken machine needing rescue. It's a setup where a striker like Šeško could flourish. And that's key, because Šeško isn't just a target man who waits around for crosses. He's dynamic, he drops deep, drifts wide, presses high, and plays one-touch link-ups like a second forward. Leipzig's attack was built on chaos and constant movement, and Šeško thrived in that. United's new look system? Not so different. People still say, but he's young. And yeah, he is. But this isn't some flashy teen with a mixtape of 5-minute highlight reels. By 22, Šeško already stacked over 200 senior club appearances and 90 goals. That's not projection, that's production. And on the international stage, he's closing in on 50 caps for Slovenia and scoring against serious opponents. Bayern, Napoli, Dortmund, Juventus, Atletico. He's not padding stats in easy games. He's delivering against top-tier defenses that chew up young strikers for breakfast. Sure, he's not perfect. His 1v1 finishing still needs polishing. Sometimes he rushes when he has time, but everything else, it's there. Smart movement, clean strikes, high football IQ, and that ability to rise in big moments, that's stuff that you can't coach. And here's the best part. He wouldn't have to carry the team, not like Højlund did. Or let's just say he tried to carry the team. Šeško would have the space to grow within the system, not be the system. And here's where it gets even more interesting. United aren't in the Champions League or even the Europa League. For once, they're not drowning in midweek fixtures and endless travel. 1 game a week, that's it. And for a young striker like Šeško, that's gold. Fewer games means more preparation, more tactical drilling, and way less physical burnout. Šeško won't be getting rotated out midweek. He'll be the main man every weekend in a system that's built to feed him. He'll have time to build chemistry, to refine his finishing, to actually grow without getting overexposed. It's the kind of environment young strikers dream of. High-profile games, but low chaos. No Thursday night in Bulgaria, no burnout by February. And let's be real, if he clicks early, if he bags goals in the first few games, the momentum will be hard to stop. He's got the profile to explode in a league like this. He's fast enough to stretch high lines, strong enough to bully low blocks, and clinical enough to punish mistakes. You give a player like that rhythm, rest, and confidence, you might just be looking at the breakout striker of the Premier League season. Not just another rebuilt piece, but the new face of United's attack. What do you think? Is Benjamin Šeško the future of Manchester United's attack, or just another gamble in disguise? Let us know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. More raw, honest football stories coming your way.